Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today we're jumping into some I Don't Work Here Lady. Before we start, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later. Alright, our first story today comes to us from Evo SP 1100. Finally got to tell a junk customer how every clerk felt about assisting them. Let's jump right in. This happened a few years ago, but it felt oh so satisfying. For a period of time, I worked for a New England-based hardware, home, and garden store. We had a customer that was the most impolite individual, definitely thought of retail people as lower than himself, and treated every clerk with contempt. In this, there's me, the junk customer, and the store manager. Well, my course had changed and I moved on from said job and was working as a carpenter, and was in that location to buy something for a project I was working on. The uniform at the store was a dark green polo and a dark green fleece as a cover-up. I'm a woodsy guy. Almost all my clothes are brown, tan, duck, black, green, and this day I happen to be wearing dark brown pants with a dark green sweatshirt from a local building supply company. Dark green with white labeling of said company. Pretty easy to see it wasn't a store-issued garment with any real observation. I'm in the hardware aisle where there are also lubricants for loosening stuck bolts and whatnot, which I was looking at. This guy walks into the aisle and I made no notice besides that someone else had entered the space. Ahem. In my head, that guy sounds horrible. Ahem, excuse me. Sorry. Thinking I'm blocking the shelving, he needs something off and moving over. No, you're supposed to help me. No, I'm not. I no longer work for this company. That's BS. I see you in here regularly. You're even wearing a uniform. This is a insert building company sweatshirt, pointing out the label on my breast. I haven't worked here for almost a year, and the reason I'm in here regularly is because, like you, it's the closest hardware store to my house. Well, you're gonna help me anyway because you know stuff about what I need. Nope, in no way is that happening. I didn't get paid enough when I did work here to put up with your crappy attitude. And now that I'm not making any money for this interaction, I'm definitely not putting up with it. I'm gonna tell the store manager about this. And she's going to do what exactly? Hold your hand and tell you it'll be okay? She doesn't hold sway over me or my actions in this moment. So good luck that. I can't believe how rude you are. That's rich. Are you really that self-unaware? Have you ever not actually thought about why, when I did work here, I was the only one to help you? I'll clue you in. It was because no one else wanted to, and I wanted to keep them from your condescension and entitled attitude. Now, about this time, store manager had come around to find me as we have a good relationship and wanted to catch up. She heard a decent amount of what was said on the way over. As she walks into the aisle, junk customer turns to her and says, "Your so-called former employee is verbally abusing me and says that no one ever wants to help me because I'm a jerk." Well, store manager doesn't have much of a filter and responds with, "Well, he is a former employee and hasn't worked here for nearly a year. And frankly, customer name, he's not wrong." The look on his face was priceless, and he just harumphed and told her he would take his business elsewhere, which only got a simple, "You do that," from her. We had a good laugh, and the vindication from her, coupled with the opportunity to say what I did, was fantastic. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called P-Kinetics. It says, "Junk customer will be back in a few days. Hopefully store manager will spread your legendary interaction to all the employees to encourage them to stand up and put this entitled butthole in their place." OP responded to this comment with, "I frequently visit the store. And since we all live in a small place, there are some people still there that I worked with or started immediately after I moved on. So they know I'll throw down if someone's not being cool. Other than that, one of my former coworkers and I still call each other by the handles we gave each other when we got radios and earpieces, even outside of the store, which is funny to me to this day." Another really good way to respond to a butthole customer when they say they'll take their business elsewhere is, "Oh my gosh, is Christmas coming early this year? Are you threatening me with a good time?" I honestly love the whole concept of somebody saying they're never going to shop there again and they're going to go somewhere else. It's like, wow, sometimes the trash does take itself out. It's kind of like the comment section on some of my videos, you know, back when people were saying I sounded like the Burger King foot lettuce person and that they weren't going to listen anymore. Oh, okay. Our next story today comes to us from Doug4422. Karen tangles with a combat veteran, gets more than a handful. Let's jump right in. I am a 52-year-old man that works as a butcher at a pork processing plant, and I never encountered a Karen in my hometown. Background: I live in a town of about 20,000 people in southwest Iowa. I've lived here my entire life, minus 6 years that I spent in the military and serving in Operation Desert Storm. Yeah, it's been 25 years. I was discharged in 1996, but it serves a relevant point that people always tend to mess with the ones they know nothing about. The story. The other day, I was at a neighborhood grocery store, we'll call it HV to keep anonymity, and was buying a couple loaves of bread as I had run out. Now, at HV, their work uniform is a red polo shirt with the company name embroidered on the left breast area in white, khaki, or black pants, and different colored aprons. Black for the deli meat counter, red for floor and front area, green for floral, and a white lab coat for the pharmacy. I couldn't have been in the aisle for 10 seconds when I feel a pair of eyes on my shoulder. I turn with a start, causing the woman directly behind me to give me a frown. I'll call her Karen. You know, you shouldn't stand behind people like that. You don't know how they'll react. I need your help. Stupid me didn't register the way she said that, which should have set off the alarm bells. Now, there are people out there that state their anger is on a short fuse. I don't have a fuse. I have a button. Push it, and it's Armageddon. One thing I do have to admit though, I've been pretty good at keeping it suppressed. I'm usually very level-headed. I mean, I'd had enough violence in my life. I would give anything if I could just live in peace. If you want help, you should ask one of the employees. I am. Huh? The realization suddenly hits me like a tank, and that she's talking to me. Ma'am, I don't work here. I was wearing a black t-shirt, black cargo pants, black socks, and black sneakers. There was nothing about how I was dressed that said I worked there. However, Karen must have been blind, as well as deaf. Don't lie to me, you work here. By this time, I can feel me starting to lose control. This insufferable oaf was wearing my patience thin. What about my clothes says I work here? You're wearing an employee uniform. You need to help me now. Oh, bad move, Karen. Now, I'm about 6'1" and weigh about 210 pounds. I'm not a small guy, and my voice is fairly deep, meaning when my volume goes up, I can get very intimidating. So much so, I've made more than a few scared of me. And at this point, manners have gone out the window. I'd had enough. What effing part of I don't work here do you not understand, you irritating effing pencil neck? After Karen loses the surprised look on her face, she balls up her fists and gets this I'm gonna kick your butt look. I see this, and at the same time, I notice a couple of employees behind me, so I return her look with a go ahead and try it look. Fair warning, you swing on me like a man, you'd better be prepared to take a punch like a man. Well, Karen relaxes her hands, then she hauls off and slaps me across my face, knocking my glasses off and scraping the bridge of my nose. It did bleed a bit, but the kicker was that she was laughing. Apparently, Karen must have thought I wouldn't do anything. However, she tangled with the wrong guy. She turns to look at me, and I put her on her butt with a slap across her face. I warned you. Karen decides to play her trump card. I'm going to have you arrested. I smiled widely and pointed to the security cameras installed in the ceiling to each end of the aisle. Have a nice day, B. I grabbed my 2 loaves of bread and walked up front to pay, while Karen is frog marched to the office in the back of the store. I found out the next day the grocery store decided to suspend her from the establishment for 30 days. Sucks to be her. Now, I understand that the comment section underneath this video is going to be very divided on whether what OP did was right or not. I'm just gonna ask that you keep it civil in the comments, please. Now, my opinion on this one though, is that OP probably should have just pressed charges for assault. Even though there may have been absolutely no benefit to OP for those charges, it might have stopped Karen from assaulting the next person who maybe isn't a 6'1", 210-pound combat veteran. But instead of going that route, OP just hauled off and smacked them back. Alright, let me know what you guys think of this one, comment down below, but like I said, try and keep it at least a little bit civil. This next story comes to us from ShellLooser42. You need to give up your train seat because you obviously work here. Let's jump right in. Hi gang, on my word, surely this had to be a result of the massive heat we're now experiencing in the Netherlands. That or just your usual unhealthy mixture of entitlement with a shot of sheer stupidity. Backstory. I've been supporting my family for a few days. They are elderly and with this heat raging have some serious issues coping. So I went over there for a few days and helped out with some basic chores, getting their groceries, and also to be around my family, of course. Today, I went back home by public transport. So much nicer and easier when you're kinda tired. And because of the still raging heat and me also being kinda tired, I decided I'd upgrade myself to first class because, it's a few extra euros. But you get more leg space, less noise from the aircon, and I might even be able to get some administrative tasks done because you can easily place your laptop there. Wishful thinking though, I'm usually too tired anyway, so music and some phone games it was. Now, this is a regional train, which only goes between 2 specific cities and some stops in between. But this isn't anything big, no capital cities or such. As a result, the first class section is actually very small. 2 sections with a 2-seater bench on each side and a table in between. And then 6 or 8 2-seater benches, 3 or 4 of those on each side. I'm not 100% sure thinking back. Needless to say, I hopped into a 2-seater, which was somewhere in the middle and sat near the window. I have my backpack on the floor right next to me, so if someone wants to use the aisle seat, then there's nothing hindering them from doing so. Finally, I nearly always have my Bluetooth earbuds in while on public transport. Best invention ever. A Karen just has to have their way. This happened today. I'm sitting in a completely empty first class section and noticed that the rest of the train was getting pretty filled, making me happy with my decision to upgrade myself. Don't get me wrong here, this train has excellent seating no matter where you are, but the chairs here are simply just that little more comfy, which was exactly what I could really use right now. I dearly love my family, but it was still a somewhat tiresome experience. No complaining here, mind you. Then, 2 women walk in who I had noticed on the platform before. They immediately gave me this Karen vibe. The haircut of one of the ladies, the overall body language and composure, I don't know. But they didn't come across as friendly to me. Both of them take a place in another 2-seater bench behind me in the opposite lane. This all happened while I was texting my girlfriend on my phone to ask her if she felt like coming over this weekend, and maybe I could treat her to a nice home-cooked dinner. We've been dating for over 10 years now, by the way. It's actually uncommon for us not to be together during the weekend, either her place or mine. But sometimes I refuse to take things for granted and go the extra mileage because why not? I know for a fact she enjoys it, so that's all the reason I need. I'm sorry, got distracted there. Bloody heat. The incident. The train leaves, all is well with the world and the rail, when I suddenly see someone in the aisle trying to get my attention. So I turn off my earbuds, that's called common sense and basic respect, people, grab my train card, and I'm ready to greet the conductor when I suddenly notice that this is actually one of the 2 ladies. Edit. All conversations are translated from Dutch, and I do not dare share the originals, because I'm not sure my post can have more X's. Anything I can do for you? Yes, go sit somewhere else. We want to sit there. You're free to use this aisle seat, but I'm not moving. Get out right now. Seat should be for passengers. It never dawned on me at this time. And here I am, a passenger. The system still works. Now please leave me alone, I'm tired. No, you need to move because we paid for our first class seats. So did I. So now kindly piss off, you're starting to annoy me. And with that, I swiped my earbuds back on. She still continued talking and I heard bits and pieces because I never have my music on that loud, but I simply didn't care anymore and said with a louder voice, "Can't hear you, got some important music to listen to." At this time, I also hear the other woman speak up. "I think you made a mistake," or something close enough. I doubt she meant that for me, but I don't know, I couldn't care less either. Next moment, this hag actually grabs my arm and starts pulling. Hell no. I grab my grabbed arm with my other hand and forcefully pull back with the both of them. That had an interesting effect, because the lady stumbles and almost falls down. She manages to maintain some balance, and now I'm also standing up, turning off my buds, and lay into her. What the bleep is your bleeping problem, you stupid bleep? You can't do that to me. I'm gonna complain to your boss about this. What the heck are you talking about? What boss? Shut the bleep off, you crazy bleep, and bleep me, but get some bleeping brain surgery, because bleep me if you bleeping try this again. I will actually bleeping defend myself from your bleeping crap. Bleeping got that? I was pissed, but still had no clue what this was all about. Yes, I was slow. Being tired and adding a 4-kilometer or so walk from your family's place to the train station in a blazing heat can do that to you. And no, nothing to worry about, because I had water on me if needed, and I actually do recognize those needs. Not many, not even in this blazing heat. The woman fires right back at me. You can't do that to a customer, and actually makes a gesture to slap me. Oh, hell no. You see, I am wearing glasses, and I cannot have that crap happen to me. They are sturdy, but if they do break while falling onto the floor, then I have a serious problem. Needless to say, I am always very wary of this, and when I noticed what was happening, I applied one of the very few tricks my girlfriend was willing to teach me: how to defend yourself from this crap. So I did. When her hand came towards my face, I grabbed it with both hands, twisted it in full force. I was still very much pissed off. That helped not giving an F. And that had an interesting effect indeed. I then pushed the Karen away from me, after which the other woman suddenly said, I really don't think he works for the train company. Not sure if I saw a smirk there. Now leave me the F alone. And then I release my hold. Note to self, do something extra nice for girlfriend this weekend. She huffs, she mutters, she gives me nasty looks, but does get back to her seat. Thank you, I say with an obvious sarcastic undertone. F that. I didn't turn my music back on, but listened in. So much easier with some good quality small microphones in your earbuds. Sure enough, she's going to complain to the train company. How dare I? The nerve of some people. Blah blah. You know, assaulting a member of the train staff is more than enough to get you kicked off the train over here. This is true. So, following your logic, I guess you're on your way out in a few minutes? Apparently, the idea of having to wait 30 minutes for the next train was a shock too much to bear. Oh, the joys of the first world Karen's problems. And things stayed quiet. 20 or so minutes later, the conductor steps in and wants to check our tickets. After I greet him and present him with mine, he goes over to the ladies, and sure enough, your coworker is so rude, he even assaulted me. What coworker? I'm the only one on staff right now next to the driver, the conductor says. A few moments later, he takes a seat in the bench right next to me, opposite section. It was also at this time when I hear a WhatsApp bleep, so I grab my phone and see it's from my girlfriend, who gladly accepted my invitation. Also mentioning how I sure have a way with words. Doing anything special right now, I ask her. When the answer is no, I decided I can be petty too. So I decide to give her a call. I never call or accept calls while in public transport, but at this time it's just me, the hags, and the conductor, and I am not breaking any rules. So, hi dear, sorry to bother, but I just had to tell you how grateful I am for you teaching me that move. After which my girlfriend asks me what's up and what happened. Am I okay? No need to worry, all thanks to you. Some bee tried to assault me when I wouldn't give up my seat after she figured I worked here. She even tried to slap me, but that really backfired on the crazy bee. My girlfriend is silent for a moment, then asks if she is still around, and did I use one or both hands? No, both hands, but don't worry, they have cameras here, so there's no way any of us is going to lie their way out of this even if we tried. But I couldn't care less about that crap. I just wanted to tell you how grateful I am to you teaching me this, and how serious you are about all that, and me being an outsider and all, I am so very grateful to you, hon. At least something close to this. The next moment, the woman barges right past me while giving me a butthole snipe and walks right out of the train, which initially actually shocked me because I didn't realize that we had already stopped at the next destination. "Wait, this isn't our stop yet," the other woman yelled after, which she ran after her, and that was the last time I saw them. "Mind telling me what happened back there?" the conductor asks when we were moving again. So I tell him this same story, how the hag demanded I give up my seat, me denying, and when she actually tried to slap me, how I got hold of her hand, twisted her arm with some force behind it, in the right direction, resulting in her giving up after I told her that I didn't work here. The conductor looks at me with a huge smile on his face and then never bothered to tell me how he felt about all this because had he done what I did, he would have been fired. I am unfortunately not kidding nor lying here. Dozens of laws in the Netherlands are plain out absurd. Instead, the conductor obviously felt very sorry for the poor woman and told me that I had better get out at the next, also last stop. Now, OP did comment down below that they have no idea why they were singled out as somebody who might work for the train company. OP mentioned they were wearing a dark blue body warmer while the real staff wears a bright yellow overcoat. Honestly though, I have to say the best part of this whole story was the conductor sitting down with OP and basically waiting until just before the last station, which was obviously going to be OP's station anyway, to tell them that, well, they need to be removed from the train as well. That was great. Check out all 3 OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.